It was the first warm Tuesday the city had all year. The bass walked in and said as much to anyone to hear. A man with his jacket open, sitting near the door. The piano played a lighter phrase than it had played before. Children in the square outside, a ball across the stone. The trumpet said good morning in a warmer tone. No coat upon the railing, no chill inside the air. Just the first warm Tuesday and the feeling everywhere. The bass walks lighter on its feet, something in its step. The piano keeps a brighter chord than all the ones it kept. A woman with a basket stops and looks around. The trumpet says the thing about the spring without making a sound. Bicycle wheels turning faster than last week. The clarinet comes in above it all, bright along the peak. See the square go golden, white and fresh and new. The bass keeps walking through the morning like it always knew. No shadow in the Tuesday, no gray left in the air. Just the first warm day of something settling everywhere. The piano finds the brightest phrase it had all winter long. The bass walks out into the sunshine, carrying the song. No story in the warming, no reason to assume. Just the first warm Tuesday opening like a bloom. Green comes back to the lane, the way it always does. The piano says it first because the piano always was. A man with his coffee outside, first time since the cold. The bass walks in beneath the table, easy, bright and bold. Leaves on the linden branches, small and just begun. The trumpet lifts its voice a little toward the climbing sun. No heavy coat to carry, no gray above the street. Just the green coming back to the lane, and the morning and the heat. The bass walks out beyond the doorway into the open square. The piano keeps its brightest promise filling up the air. The child runs past the window, laughing as she goes. The clarinet comes in above it all, the way the springtime knows. Someone opens every window on the narrow street. The trumpet answers what the clarinet left in the morning heat. go green and golden, warm from wall to wall. The bass walks on below the brightness, catching it all. No winter in the morning, no memory of gray, just the green coming back to the lane on an ordinary day. The piano hums the kind of spring that doesn't need a name. The bass walks through the green and golden, everything the same. A bicycle goes by with flowers tied beside the wheel. The trumpet says the last small thing about the way things feel. No story in the greening, no moment to presume, just the lane and all its brightness coming back in bloom.
Somebody left the door open and the spring walked right in. The trumpet said it first with a wide and an easy grin. A man beside the counter looked up from his cup. The piano started playing like it couldn't give it up. Voices from the square outside, bright across the stone. The bass walked through the whole room like it finally came home. No asking who had left it, no reason to complain, just the door opened to the morning and the warm spring came. The trumpet leads the piano down a lighter road. The clarinet comes in behind them like it always knows. A woman laughs beside the window, turns and laughs again. The bass keeps walking through the laughter down the morning lane. Bicycle bells ringing somewhere near the square. The trumpet lifts above the rooftops into the open air. See the cafe fill with daylight, corner after wall. The piano plays the kind of spring that has room for all. No gray above the doorway, no chill inside the room, just somebody left the door open and the spring came into bloom. The bass walks out to meet it, the trumpet follows on. The clarinet says something cheerful, and then the gray is gone. No story in the opening, no moment to assume, just the door left wide to morning and the spring inside the room.
The market opens at 8, and the whole street knows the bass walks in beside the baskets wherever morning goes. A man with flowers on his card, another with the bread. The trumpet says the thing about the market that never goes unsaid. Voices call in price and color across the morning square. The piano keeps the rhythm going like it has no care. No quiet in the market, no stillness on the stone. The bass walks through the noise and color, making it its own. A woman holds an orange up against the morning light. The clarinet comes in above her, warm and sharp and right. Bicycle wheels through the crowd, somebody calls a name. The trumpet answers from the corner, every morning the same. See the market spread its color wide across the square. The bass walks on below, the voices threading through the air. No gray above the stalls today, no cloud above the lane. Just the market opening at 8 and the spring again. The piano finds a brighter phrase among the morning sounds. The trumpet lifts above the baskets, making its rounds. A child eats something sweet beside a cart of early green. The clarinet says what the morning means between the scene. See the square go bright and golden, wide and full and new. The bass walks through the market colors, carrying them through. No story in the selling, no moment left to name. Just the market opening at 8 like a bright and easy flame. The trumpet leads them homeward, the piano follows on. The bass walks out among the baskets and the morning carries on. Afternoon finds the garden the way it always will. The bass walks in beneath the blossom, patient, warm and still. A man beside the iron table, coffee, book and shade. The piano plays the kind of afternoon that spring has always made. Bees among the window boxes, slow and without aim. The trumpet says the easy thing about the warm and sane. No hurry in the garden, no shadow on the wall. Just the afternoon among the blossoms, settling over all. The bass walks through the flower scent, slow and round and clear. The piano keeps its brightest promise for this time of year. A cat asleep on the railing, tail across the stone. The clarinet comes winding softly in a golden tone. Curtains open to the garden, lifting with the breeze. The trumpet answers what the clarinet said among the trees. See the afternoon go golden through the garden wide. The bass walks on below the blossoms, warm on every side. No winter in the sitting, no memory of gray, just the afternoon that found the garden on a spring midday. The piano hums the kind of warmth that fills a quiet place. The clarinet says one last something to the open space. No story in the garden, no hour to pursue, just the afternoon among the blossoms and the sky of blue. A bench near the fountain, the water running clear. The piano found it first and said, "Come over here." A man with nothing pressing, his jacket on his knee. The bass walked in beside the water, easy as can be. Children at the fountain's edge, their voices light and thin. The trumpet said the thing about the spring and let the warmth begin. No reason in the sitting, no clock above the square, just a bench near the fountain and the open air. The bass walks through the water sound beneath the afternoon. The piano keeps a steady warmth like spring keeps to its tune. A pigeon on the cobblestone walks its own small road. The clarinet comes in above the fountain, light without a load. Somebody feeds the pigeons, somebody reads aloud. The trumpet lifts above the fountain, just above the crowd. See the square go warm and golden, fountain, bench and all. The bass walks on below the water through the afternoon's call. No shadow on the fountain, no gray above the stone, just the bench and all its warmth, and no one here alone. The clarinet says something easy to the passing breeze. The piano holds its warmest chord among the budding trees. A bicycle leans near the railing, flowers on the frame. The bass walks out beside the fountain, everything the same. No story in the resting, no moment to assume. Just a bench near the fountain and the spring in full bloom. Windows open all the way for the first time since fall. The trumpet set it to the street and the street set it to all. A man leaned out above the lane, his coffee in his hand. The bass walked in below the morning like it had been planned. Curtains lifting wide and easy, reaching for the square. The piano came in bright behind them, filling up the air. No reason left to keep them shut, no chill inside the frame. Just the windows open all the way and the spring that finally came. The bass walks through the open rooms, light from wall to wall. The trumpet leads the morning forward down the open hall. A woman hangs the washing out above the narrow lane. The clarinet comes winding upward like a warm refrain. Voices crossing window to window, easy in the heat. The piano keeps the bright thing going down the waking street. See the morning fill the rooms, now every corner lit. The bass walks on below the brightness, perfectly to fit. No winter in the curtains, no memory of cold. Just the windows open all the way and the morning bright and bold. The trumpet finds the highest phrase it had been saving long. The piano follows close behind it into the open song. A bicycle goes by below, its bell a single ring. The piano says what the open windows mean about the spring. No story in the opening, no moment to explain. Just the windows finally open and the warm sun in the lane.
He took the long way round the square, no reason but the day. The bass walked with him all the way without a word to say. The linden trees were coming green along the narrow side. The trumpet said the thing about the walking with a quiet pride. Cobblestones still wet from morning, shining in the noon. The piano kept a steady warmth beneath the climbing moon. No hurry in the going round, no shortcut to be found. Just the long way round the square and the easy sound.
The bass walks every cobblestone, counting none at all. The trumpet hums the kind of spring that answers when you call. A cafe on the corner with its chairs outside. The clarinet comes winding through the tables like a gentle guide. Someone calls a name across the square, a hand goes up in light. The bass walks on below the calling, warm and easy bright. See the square go round and golden, white on every side. The piano plays the kind of afternoon that opens something wide. No destination pressing, no reason to arrive. Just a long way around the square and being glad to be alive. The linden branches move above him, light between the green. The bass walks on below the branches, through everything between. A child runs past with something bright, a coat left on a chair. The piano hums the last warm phrase into the open air. No story in the walking, no ending to pursue. Just a long way around the square and the spring the whole way through. A blossom on the railing, pink against the stone. The clarinet found it first and claimed it for its own. A man with his second coffee, watching from his chair. The bass walked in below the blossom, easy through the air. Petals on the cobblestone, scattered by the breeze. The piano came in softly after moving with ease. No asking of the season, no counting of the days. Just the blossom on the railing and the spring in all its ways. The clarinet keeps winding upward, pink and warm and bright. The bass walks on below the pedals into the afternoon light. woman stops beside the railing, touches one small bloom. The trumpet says one tender thing across the afternoon room. Bicycle wheels through the pedals, scattering them wide. The piano keeps the warmth together on the inside. See the railing hold its blossom against the open sky. The clarinet says what the pink means without asking why. No winter in the petals, no gray above the stone, just the blossom on the railing, and the warmth and the known. The bass walks through the fallen petals, soft beneath its feet. The trumpet hums the final something to the warming street. No story in the blooming, no moment to assume, just the blossom on the railing and the afternoon in bloom. The bass takes its last step forward, the blossom holds its place. The clarinet says one last tender word into the open space. Somebody's radio, somebody's window, the music coming down into the square below. A man looked up and listened, his cup halfway to his mouth. The bass walked in beside his listening, easy going south. A song from somewhere upstairs, familiar and half known. The trumpet recognized it and made it more its own. No name upon the music, no face above the sill, just somebody's radio and the morning standing still. The piano keeps the warmth below the window and the song. The bass walks on beside the listening all the morning long. A curtain moves above the square, someone turns it up. The clarinet comes winding down like steam above a cup. Voices from the cafe table, someone hums along. The trumpet lifts to meet the radio and carries on the song. See the square fill up with music, window after door. The bass walks through the sound of it and asks for nothing more. No asking who is playing, no reason to look up, just somebody's radio and the morning and the cup. comes the kind of spring that comes through open glass. The clarinet says what the music means to everyone who pass. A bicycle stops below the window. The rider tilts his head. The bass walks on below the music, going where it led. No story in the listening, no moment to explain, just somebody's radio coming down like warm spring rain. The trumpet fades back to the window, the piano hums along, the bass walks on into the morning, carrying the song.
The afternoon belongs to no one, wide and open still. The bass walked in and claimed it gently, the way only bass will. A man with nothing written down, no lisp beside his cup. The piano played the kind of freedom that only spring can cup. Shadows short beneath the table, sun directly overhead. The trumpet said the thing about the afternoon that afternoon had said. No appointment in the sitting, no hour left to keep, just the afternoon belonging to the square and to the street. The bass walks through the open spaces, easy, warm and round. The piano keeps its brightest promise without making too much sound. A cat sleeps on a window ledge, one paw across its face. The clarinet comes winding through at its own easy pace. Someone orders something cold, the ice rings in the glass. The trumpet lifts above the tables and lets the moment pass. See the afternoon stretch outward, gold from wall to wall. The bass walks on below the golden, carrying it all. No story in the freedom, no reason to pursue, just the afternoon belonging to whoever wanders through. The clarinet says something easy to the warming stone. The piano answers back in kind, and neither feels alone. Bicycle goes slow past the window, no particular place. The bass walks on below the slowness at a matching pace. No shadow pressing forward, no evening yet in view, just the afternoon that belongs to no one, open wide and new. The trumpet says the last warm word, The piano lets it go. The bass walks on into the afternoon, the only way it knows. Evening comes slowly in spring, later than before. The piano noticed it arriving softly at the door. A man still at his table, though the lamps came on. The bass walked in below the lamplight, carrying the gong. The square still held some people, chairs still in the sun. The trumpet said the evening thing about the day not done. No hurry in the evening, no chill inside the air. Just the spring that kept the daylight longer than its share. The bass walks through the golden hour, warm on every side. The piano keeps the evening easy, wide and open wide. A woman folds her newspaper, orders one thing more. The clarinet comes winding softly through the open door. Bicycle lights beginning, one by one along the lane. The trumpet hums the evening something warm as afternoon rain. See the square hold on to daylight, every table bright. The bass walks on below the golden into the coming night. No winter in the evening, no memory of gray. Just the spring that kept the sun a little more today. The piano finds the warmest phrase it's saved for evening time. The clarinet says what the long day means in something close to rhyme. A child runs home below the lamplight, calling as she goes. The bass walks on beneath the calling. The way the evening knows, no story in the staying late, no reason to move on. Just the spring evening coming slowly long after afternoon is gone. A trumpet says good night so gently, no one needs to hear. The piano holds the warmest chord of all the passing year. The bass takes its last evening step, the clarinet sighs above. The spring evening comes in slowly, full of something close to love.
Mm-hmm.
linden trees know first when the warm has come to stay. The clarinet said as much at the beginning of the day. A man beneath the branches with his jacket on the chair. The bass walked in below the lindens, moving through the air. Petals not yet fallen, green still finding form. The piano came in warm behind them, keeping something warm. No asking of the season, no doubt inside the lane. Just the linden trees already knowing spring had come again. The clarinet winds upward through the canopy of green. The bass walks on below the branches, through everything between. A child points up at something moving in the leaves. The trumpet comes in easy on the back of a breeze. Voices underneath the lindens, light across the stone. The piano keeps the morning open, like it always known. See the branches hold the morning, green and white and clear. The bass walks on below the canopy, through the time of year. No winter in the knowing, no gray above the green. Just the linden trees already certain of what spring will mean. Someone reads below the branches, pages in the light. The bass walks on below the reading, warm and sure and right. The piano hums the kind of certainty that only lindens know. The clarinet says what the branches say to everything below. A bicycle goes through the shadow, out into the sun. The trumpet lifts above the lindens, saying spring has won. No story in the knowing, no moment to explain. Just the linden trees already certain, standing in the lane. The bass walks out from under branches into open sky. The clarinet follows just behind it, not yet saying goodbye. The piano holds the green and golden, the trumpet fades above. The linden trees keep their knowing, full of something close to love. The swallows came back first, before the month was done. The trumpet said it saw them crossing in the sun. A man looked up above the square, his hand above his eyes. The bass walked in below the swallows, under open skies. Wings above the rooftops, fast and thin and clear. The piano came in bright behind them, saying spring is here. No asking why they came back, no reason left to find. Just the swallows over the square, leaving winter behind. The trumpet follows one of them across the morning wide. The bass walks on below the flying, warm on every side. A woman at the window points and calls a name. The clarinet comes winding upward like a swallow cane. Children in the square below, their faces to the sky. The piano keeps the bright thing going as the swallows fly. See the rooftops fill with circling, wide and fast and free. The bass walks on below the freedom where the bass will be. No winter in the flying, no gray above the lane. Just the swallows coming back to what they always came to claim. The trumpet lifts its brightest phrase into the open blue. The clarinet says what the swallows mean to me and you. A nest above the doorway, built again from scratch. The piano hums the kind of spring that swallows always catch. No story in the returning, no ending to the flight. Just the swallows coming back into the warm and light. The bass walks out below the rooftops, the trumpet follows high. The clarinet wins one last circle across the morning sky. The piano holds the open blue, the swallows carry on. The bass walks on below the brightness, long after they are gone. The cafe put 6 chairs outside for the first time since fall. The bass walked out beside them and the piano told it all. A man carried 2 chairs at once, set them in the sun. A trumpet said the thing about the outside like a season 1. Tables on the cobblestones wobbling just a touch. The piano kept the brightness going, not too much, not much. No reason left to sit inside, no gray above the door. Just the cafe and its chairs outside, the way it was before. The bass walks round the outside tables, counting every leg. The trumpet hums above the cobblestones with autumn meat to bear. A waiter brings a cloth outside, wipes each table clean. The clarinet comes winding through the chairs into the in-between. Someone sits before they're ready, pulls a chair and stays. The piano keeps the bright thing going through the warming days. See the cobblestones fill slowly, table after chair. The bass walks on below the outside, through the open air. No winter in the sitting out, no memory of cold. Just the cafe and its chairs outside, like a story always told.
coffee brought without asking, set beside a hand. The bass walks on below the sunlight, easy as it planned. The piano hums the kind of morning made for sitting out. The clarinet says what the outside means without a need to shout. Two women laugh at nothing much across the narrow space. The trumpet lifts above the laughter into the open place. No story in the carrying out, no moment to explain. Just the cafe with its chairs outside, and the sun and the lane. The bass walks back inside to check, then comes back out again. The clarinet says one last easy thing into the warm terrain. The piano holds the outside open, the trumpet fades above. The cafe with its chairs outside is everything enough.
April doesn't hurry, doesn't need to try. The piano knew it from the start beneath the open sky. A man with his hat pushed back the sun against his face. The bass walked in below the April at an April pace. Blossoms on the corner tree, opening one by one. The trumpet said the April thing about the climbing sun. No rushing in the season, no forcing of the bloom. Just the April moving gently through the morning room. The bass walks through the patience of it, warm and round and slow. The piano keeps the bright thing easy, letting April go. A cat beside the flower cart watches people pass. The clarinet comes winding through the morning, easy as the grass. Someone stops to smell the blossom, stands a little while. The trumpet says the patient thing about the April mile. See the morning open slowly, petal after petal wide. The bass walks on below the April, warm on every side. No forcing of the feeling, no asking it to stay. Just the April moving gently through an ordinary day. The clarinet winds through the blossom tree, easy and unhurried still. The piano hums the kind of patience only April will. A bicycle goes slowly by, no particular direction. The bass walks on below the slowness with the same perfection. Voices at the corner table, warm and without weight. The trumpet lifts one final phrase into the open late. No story in the April, no ending to assume. Just the month that doesn't hurry, opening into bloom. The bass walks on through all the petals, the clarinet winds above. The piano holds the April open, full of something close to love. The trumpet fades above the blossom, the bass takes its last step through. April doesn't hurry, and neither should you.
The last light stays for spring, the way it never did before. The trumpet said it to the square, and the square said nothing more. A man still at his outside table, jagged on the chair. The bass walked in below the golden, soft into the air. The lamppost hadn't come on yet, the sky still holding blue. The piano came in warm behind the evening, carrying it through. No hurry in the staying out, no chill inside the lane. Just the last light keeping longer for the spring again. The bass walks through the golden hour, every step still warm. The trumpet hums the evening something, far from any storm. A woman folds her book at last, looks up at the sky. The clarinet comes winding softly with a warm goodbye. Children called home from the square, their voices light and thin. The piano keeps the golden going as the lamps begin. See the sky hold blue a moment longer than it should. The bass walks on below the blue, the way the evening would. No winter in the standing out, no memory of gray. Just the last light staying longer at the end of a spring day. A bicycle light flickers on along the narrow lane. The bass walks on below the flickering, warm as afternoon rain. The piano hums the kind of evening only spring can give. The clarinet says what the long light means to everyone who lives.
note collected from the railing. Someone says goodnight. The trumpet lifts one final phrase into the fading light. No story in the staying late, no ending to pursue. Just the last light staying longer, and the spring the whole way through. The bass walks home below the lamplight, the claret winds above. The trumpet fades into the evening, full of something close to love. The piano holds the last blue moment before the dark comes through. The last light stays for spring, and spring stays too.